Друзья, вы не поверите, но мы не завершаем.
Friends, we go on with the cyber threats. We need to know about all possible threats. And if you are warned, this means you are armed and less chances that you will be able to miss the blow. The next presentation will be about news attacks. And here is the head of the research group by Positive Technologies, Irina Zinovkina.
Всем привет! Ура, меня слышно.
Hello everyone, you can hear me?
Атаки, да, это все хорошо.
Attacks, all is great, but I guess I want to sum up this cyber festival with it's a fourth day of the cyber festival, and I'll tell you some insights which are able to get here. Do you know what assembly model is? But if you know, if you've been listening, then probably, even on May 23rd, you were also sitting here at 6 p.m. and you were hearing this MC from the famous radio. He or she was reading like great stories. My second insight, that I was a part also of the business program, and I was sharing also about some cyber attacks, and it's all interesting, it's all captivating. But one of my presentations yesterday was at the time of the concert right here. And when I was done in the cyber arena, when I was speaking about artificial intelligence, right here there was like a huge party, boom, boom, and those who were with my presentation, we tried not to hold ourselves from dancing. Another insight: in 20 minutes we'll have a Grand Prix Monaco. So if you support Monaco Grand Prix, hooray, hooray. Now let's move into my presentation. A couple of words about me. I'm a researcher. I'm the head of a research group, and we're checking different cases. Mostly we do research related to cyber threat for organizations, how they're being hacked, how to defend, and how kind of malware is being used. You can see all of that on Positive Technologies website, if you care about it, hopefully so. And looks like as a part of my job, I'm also involved in cyber hygiene. I give a lot of commands in the media. I speak, sometimes I even do some lectures. I've even did a lecture in the Federal Information Center. It was quite interesting, but if you want to, I can tell you about that. I like to talk. And since I'm involved in that, we collect great stats, and of course on Sunday it's hard to collect any stats, but anyway. As it was mentioned by some of the other presenters, we've been saying that the main attacks usually is social engineering. Makes sense, but also I want to say that the most information that we are losing would be our credentials. When we speak about organizational leaks, this would be personal data. So out of company, usually personal data are being stolen, and we usually see our credentials being stolen, and so it was like, hey, now we got everything. And now there was like more malware on Android than on iOS, but I think it'll be a subject to discussion. Maybe someone will comment. Anyway, basic things right now. I don't want to give too much because like the colleagues have been bringing it up to date about this kind of basic things. What is phishing? We know what is phishing. I'm done with phishing. How phishing is being disseminated? Usually, I have to say that, of course, when we're speaking about individuals, this could be phishing web pages. If you compare corporate attacks, usually those are corporate emails. When we speak about us individuals, email is kind of on the back burner, and we do not use it very often. Some kind of spam is fallen in there, no notification. For example, like I have like 5,000 messages in some boxes. I do not even read it, and I'm not going to, I guess. And also I want to say that there is a growing number of phishing spreading through the messengers, because we're using messengers every day, not only for personal communication, but also for corporate communications. And we like to talk, and we have a lot of different channels. And of course, those criminals, they cannot ignore it, and they want to hijack like account in Telegram or channel Telegram. That's also a trend. And also, social media are being reborn, And phishing in social media, in social networks, is also a pretty common situation. I'm going to give you some cases which I've seen today when I was communicating with journalists, when we were speaking about some cool info news, and I also want to tell you about our agenda today. In the year 2020, it was a coronavirus, and so it was about some kind of social payments, and the con people would tell, give me. It's always the same. It's always the same, but they change the topic. Those swindlers, they change the topic. And elections, and cyber criminals like, yeah, wow, that's cool. Let's do something. Let's do people. And of course, for the cyber criminals, elections are a very good topic, breeding ground. I also want to say that the entrance threshold is not super high. You don't have to be a hacker who is breaking, public channels and companies and sites, to defraud people. In dark web, there are all different services which are criminals sell to criminals. The more qualified is helping to a less qualified one, and that's why, unfortunately, it's a problem that the number of attack is ever growing. Those from the several services, like they say, hey, I'm from the special services, and then they give some kind of proofs. For example, now they're selling their documents and even seals, and even do the counterfeit document is signed by the e-signature, all kind of interesting documents. So unfortunately, you cannot even trust these documents. Now, telecom and SIM cards is also one channel of fraud. My colleague, she gave us a very detailed information. But I guess I want to also say that all these frauds and skin game, it's usually about the public services, but what kind of information they can get if they get access to your public services domain. It's pretty obvious. Actually, my mom, one of these days, in a conversation between us, we were not speaking, of course, about the cyber security. We don't never discuss it. But she told me that, hey, I gave my password to somebody. I'm like, no, why? And hopefully today I've told her, and hopefully I will not be fired because I'm not educating my mom that this has also happened. I had to react to this incident, which has happened literally a couple of days ago. Now, about the false access points, I want to bring up to date. I do not know if you have it, but sometimes when these criminals, they may install their access points like a legitimate Wi-Fi Mos.fi, something like that, Moscow Transport, Sheremetyevo Wi-Fi. So it's a false, basically it's a false Wi-Fi, and those criminals can steal your and mine data. The main idea is that when you're connecting to the free Wi-Fi, never pass on your confidential data, sensitive data, or anything you care about, and never go to any accounts. So try to use those open Wi-Fi only for surfing, kind of safe surfing, to look something interesting. Like me and my colleague today, we went and did this crosswords. Collecting merch. What else can you do, right? At the conference. And here I was surfing the answer for the questions. That's cool. You can do a public Wi-Fi. Otherwise, don't use it for. And this example I have is not so long ago, one of our co-worker, he was in Sheremetyevo airport. There was a free Wi-Fi, and it turned out to be it's not quite legitimate. And this is how people, I guess, want to get on the internet, but they still can be defrauded, can be caught. Free VPN services. I do not know if I need to dive deep into free VPNs, but let's be honest. All this like we don't have access to Telegram and Facebook. Of course, we have access, and probably in 2022, like a free VPN, 24/7 without registration, a text message. It was one of the main inquiries and main app. But again, free cheese only in a mousetrap. And when we speak about VPN, to maintain VPN from the side of developer to use some broadband bandwidth, you have to have money. And when service is given to you for free, it looks like there is some kind of monetization is happening on your side, which you are not aware of. In the best case, this would be ads, and your data will be to give you some kind of specified targeted ads, so you would buy some kind of merchandise. In the worst case scenario, your data will be in the hands of the conman, which will use it for social engineering. They may get access to your account and will also put the same password on all of our credentials. That's not cool. So I don't think that some of you will kind of delete all of your applications that you have, but I warn you. Hijacking accounts in Telegram. That's a new hype, and they're stealing those not only to get into some kind of channel, like these guys having a channel, and they're stealing credentials to advertise crypto and all these other cool things. Telegram can be used for interesting things, and one live example: our colleagues from Positive, when they got access to an account, they were taking voice messages and generated deepfake based on it, and they were sending out like messages from this lady: "Hey, hello, I'm such and such. This is my voice, and this is me. Can you please give me a little bit of money? Lend me some money." This is how deepfakes work, and I also have to say that please use the max safety settings, not only in Telegram but also in different managers. It's a two-way, two-factor authentication. The button, get out of all devices. Do not ignore it, because sometimes you think, who cares about me? I'm a little guy, I don't have any money. But now, maybe tomorrow not, but today maybe not, but tomorrow maybe somebody will try to hack you and your family. So be careful about that. Another example, hopefully interesting, about those we call them info gypsies, info business. And it seems like not many people buy these courses, and people understand this is not cool, and this kind of checklist about how to be successful. Nobody cares about that, right? No way. But they thought, hey, why don't we sell our courses as like online cinemas, basically like streaming services? Maybe we can also do that. And this is how they mask, do a phishing page, and you supposedly get access to those streaming services. But instead of that, they send you this kind of like successful course, buy this course on success. This is one of the examples of the phishing website. Sales, New Year, we're trying to save, we need to buy a lot of stuff, and we want to buy lots of gifts. And those Black Fridays and spring and autumn usually show a spike of social engineering, and 10 out of 10 is happening right in these seasons. And I think that we have to think objectively. If you're offered a discount, a huge discount, like a 90% discount, almost for free, something is offered to you, probably this is not the case. And like, why would stores give you anything for free or with a huge discount? Because you can pay delivery, and then boom, this website disappears, and you cannot trace your purchase, because these were the swindlers. And also there were some issues with deliveries when they were offering like, hey, from delivery service. There was also kind of phishing letters, and when they ask you, how can I protect myself from buying at the wrong website? One of the main solutions would try to use official apps, because you have less chances to get caught on the phishing website. But I'm speaking about official apps, not some kind of random apps. The same is true for New Year celebration. Christmas, we want to buy gifts, and the swindlers are saying 10 gifts for the price of one. Cool, I get it. And then you lose your money and you lose your gifts. And also people try to buy a travel journey. People try try to buy events or trying to get away for a new year to see our friends and just have some change from living in a big city. And of course, those criminals are trying to buy tickets cheaper, but it's the same scheme. As for events, have you ever been at the Nutcracker in the Bolshoi Theater? If yes, you are lucky. For some of us, it's a dream and people want to see. And people stand in huge lines and buying tickets from and criminals are saying, hey, cool, we're going to sell like exclusive tickets on our website. And sometimes they even send you tickets. This is amazing. Not that you spend money and nothing is sent. No, you leave until the December 31st. I'm going to go and we're going to see this ballet in the Bolshoi Theater. And it turns out that when you enter, that your ticket is not valid. It's a counterfeit ticket, and it's very sad. And how do we defend ourselves from that? I guess the most important thing is to stay on your guard. Be on the lookout for them. When we speak about online shopping, it would be great to have a separate card only for your online shopping with exact amount of money that you want to do. Rapid payment system is also targeted by swindlers. Can you pay with a QR code? You come to a store. It is also happening, but the criminals like, hey, QR codes, It looks like everybody's using QR code, so they also use it. And also in the rapid payment system, they are using it as a method of attacking us. And they say, hey, pay through this system, but this is a kind of false and fake QR code. When I'm asked to pay using QR code in a store, I'm like, oh, no, I don't want to do that. And then, actually, I've lost my card. I had to block my card. I cannot get it back from the bank, and not so many options. I'm used to just these QR codes, so it's very convenient. But people say that you're not going to get a cashback, but I don't have any cashback. No problem. Now, the dating websites, dating apps, it has always been like a breeding ground for swindlers and criminals and cyber criminals. But now we can see a new movement that those dating apps, they're offering, like tech support is writing, your account has to be approved, in the USA through the FBI, in Russia through the Federal Security Service. This is of course just a hook. And for them, for cyber criminals, this is the place to cheat on people. And because many people do not want to disclose their information, it is also could be a potential trap. Lottery. It's great to win a lottery, but it's not great when you are like winning something and it turns out you haven't won anything. You've lost your money. So if you want something and they tell you, can you please pay for delivery, pay for a tax, pay for whatever, that's a warning sign. That's a red flag. And you won if you didn't give them any information. Next trap would be crypto and investments. Yesterday, I had a conversation with my girlfriend and we met, and she was telling me about some kind of crypto and coins and telegrams. I'm like, hey, I have no idea, but maybe you know more. But anyway, crypto coins for criminals, it's a hype. It's a hype to use to defraud people. So they do the financial Ponzi schemes related to cryptocurrency. It's also a new thing, we used to have them. This kind of what we call them a pyramid is still staying. People, like a crypto Ponzi. Let's go and let's make money. For yachts, for remote work, and you don't have to do. Of course, this also could be a setup. Whenever we speak about investments, if you have shares of positive company, that's cool. You go there and you can see why you need shares of the positive company. Speaking about these investments, when many people got their investment accounts blocked a couple of years ago, like, hey, let's do investment, like the whole courses, which shares you gotta buy. And then many people actually have their accounts frozen. And now criminals are saying we can unblock it for a small amount of money, for a fee. And of course, it's another another way to cheat people out of money. Now, kids, if you have kids, maybe you're here with kids. I've seen a lot of kids at different stands, which is just amazing and great. Children in cybersecurity is even greater, but in cyberspace, there are also a goal for criminals, because they have access to all the coolest tech we have, internet. It looks like they're living in the internet and no more than we are, even though I consider myself like a young still. But still, they do not have much of experience to tell black from white. And criminals can manipulate kids and try to tell them, hey, I'm gonna kill your parents, I'm gonna do this, I know where you live. And we've heard a presentation today that, everybody knows everything about that, and you can find information about anyone in the shortest time possible. So sometimes kids are manipulated, and like my child is very small, and I'm a little bit concerned about how I'm going to talk to him and how I'm going to keep this fine line of his private life when he'll grow up, with at the same time being able to shield and shelter him from these criminals. A couple of words about deepfakes. A lot has been mentioned about deepfakes. I'm going to share my insight. Two presentations that I've delivered on the technical part, one way or another, they were related to artificial intelligence. The first one was about automating, security with AI, and secondly, how criminals automate their own action using the same AI. And I've heard a lot of discussions. We've even had a separate topic on machine learning and AI. We have all the recordings. You can check it if you like it. But my main insight is AI, despite it's like a super hype topic, everybody's speaking about that right now, there are no any leads, any clues that is going to change us, that is going to change the IB people, and that is going to change even criminals, because it's not ready. The technology is not ready, so we can use a chat GPT just to play, but at the same time, we do not see any real threat. And of course, we cannot live without AI. I gave you a couple of words about deepfakes and Telegram. Yet another topic I wanted to make a part of the presentation.
And there was an interesting scheme just recently. Potential scammers from Sberbank, they have this kind of security system 2.0. They use video feed, and they have feedback in the background, and they tell you about this. So how do you protect yourself? I think you already heard about this, and probably you should not trust everyone on the network. And this is probably what I tell myself, because sometimes you get, you're tired, you want just to interact with the rest of the world, and you might be a little bit trustworthy, a little bit more than necessary. So maybe you should not trust everything you see online, and please talk to your children, please talk to your parents and grandparents. Probably they will suffer the most from this, from what happens on the internet. Previously, our daughters or our parents and grandparents were giving out their money if they were caught and told their son or daughter were in prison, but now they do the same but online. And some banks already have initiatives, people who go to banks or maybe take for loans, and you can see then that they're very nervous. They try to calm them down, maybe to talk to them. Are they sure that they want to take money or not? So this is a very good initiative at a local place. Our contacts in social media, we sometimes publish content on cybersecurity for organizations, but mostly we are talking about cyber hygiene. And when something happens like Black Friday, usually we issue some, let's say, guides on how not to get scammed, how not to get hacked. And it feels like every year you have new ideas, which on the one hand is good, but on the one hand, obviously, it's pretty bad. Right now, there is a test lab profile was great to be here, so I would obviously be going there. Irina, thank you. Do you support these buttons, not smartphone, but simple phones? Maybe this would be a solution if you give this to your parents or grandparents. Well, the problem is not about sensors or buttons, what kind of capabilities they have. If it can actually answer, if it can get into the internet, well, we are talking about scams. It's not like providing security or protection to our parents or grandparents. They will still receive the calls, and if they tell you that a button phone would be more trustworthy compared to smartphone, well, they will still believe and trust people who call them. It's not about the technology, you still have to use your head. Unfortunately, you have to use your brains.